Welcome back. In this portion of our show, we are welcoming our new volunteer coordinator. And her name is Uvonne Andoh. Glad you're here.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Well, and you and I met a few weeks ago when Kimberly introduced you,
Yes.
but I'd like to introduce you to our audience again, those who may not have met you that time. Now, you're not new to Green Spring.
No, I've been with Green Spring a year now.
And you were working at Green Spring as
a program assistant. So I was doing different activities for the residents in Garden Ridge.
In Garden Ridge,
Yes.
and then when this job opened, you said, "This is for me.
Yeah,
I'm going to
yes.
apply."
Yes.
So tell us your background.
So before coming here into Green Spring, I did my internship at Charlestown with Community Resources. So I did get a feel of, the Erickson living.
So you knew Erickson?
Yes, and in addition to that, I did receive my bachelor's from the University of Maryland, Baltimore County, from the Erickson School of Aging. So
you
with
were
that
meant
too,
to be.
I was meant to be here. And right after my bachelor's, I did receive my master's from Virginia Commonwealth University in gerontology.
So how did you get interested in working with people who are older?
I feel like being raised by my grandmother was a big factor into that.
Okay.
And volunteering. So in high school, I did volunteer at a nursing home. So learning about the aging process and just being curious about, how aging, happens and everything associated with aging. It just drew my passion, to really get into this field and be an advocate for older adults.
Good for you.
Thank
Great.
you.
Well, we're glad you moved into this field.
Thank you.
That's good.
I'm glad.
So here you are. You've been in the volunteer coordinator job for 2 weeks, and we've seen lots of advertising around for programs going on.
Yes.
Tell us what's happening in the world of volunteering.
So there are 3 volunteer opportunities coming up in the month of August.
Okay.
The first volunteer opportunity is the Garden Ridge Annual Crab Feast, which will be on Friday, August 17th from 11:30 to 1:30 p.m.
And you need some volunteers.
And we do need volunteers. And basically what volunteers would do is assist in bringing residents down to the event, which would take place in the family parking lot.
You have
in
this
Garden
under
Ridge.
some tents, I think.
Yes, under some tents, yes. And in addition to that, volunteers will help assist with providing food to the residents. If they need help cracking their crabs, volunteers will be there to assist them. So that's that for the crab feast. And
that again is the 17th?
Yes, August 17th from 11:30 to 1:30 p.m.
Okay. And if I'm interested in doing that?
Just come see me. You can call me, send me an email, stop by my office.
Okay.
Just let me know if you're interested in volunteering for that. The second volunteer opportunity is the Garden Ridge Goes to the Chapel, which will take place on Wednesday, August 29th at 10:30 a.m. But volunteers, at this time, we have more than enough volunteers.
Isn't that exciting?
So you are still more than welcome to join us in the chapel. But what volunteers would do for this volunteer opportunity is wheeling residents from Garden Ridge to the chapel and back. In addition to that, volunteers will help in greeting and seating in the chapel.
Good.
So even if you're still interested in volunteering, even though we have more than enough, please talk to me, see me, call me, email me, whatever works for you.
Well, you never know when somebody who's volunteered maybe isn't going to be able to show up.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. And my third volunteer opportunity, it is a reminder and an opportunity as well for the Grand Involve. So basically what the Grand Involve is volunteers volunteering at the Crestwood Elementary School. So if you're interested in that for the upcoming school year, please contact me. We do need some volunteers for that.
So it's called the Grand Involve.
Grand Involve.
And the grand being like grandparent,
yes.
getting involved. And this is at Crestwood Elementary School. And what do people do who volunteer for that program?
So what they do is they help tutor the kids there, if there are any additional resources that they need from the volunteers, such as helping out in the classrooms. That's what they normally do, but mostly is helping tutor the kids at the elementary school.
Now, does Green Spring provide transportation?
The Grand Involved program actually do provide transportation. So they stop in different buildings, Hunters Crossing, Town Center, Garden Ridge, and Village Square, and they do pick up volunteers from there.
And how often do the volunteers go there? Is this
They do like once a week.
once a week?
Yes.
Do we know what day of the week?
So I have that information. I don't have it here, but I do have that
So if
information.
I'd be interested in doing that, I should contact
Yes,
you and
contact
say,
me.
because school is starting
Yes.
soon, and we don't know what grade levels. It's pretty much the school saying, okay,
Correct.
here's where we need some help. Would you be interested? Like if somebody
right.
said to me, we need some help in the kindergarten, I might say, I don't know if I could work with kindergartners, but maybe sixth graders.
Yes.
And they might say, okay, maybe we can match you up with a sixth grader.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
And for the reminder in regards to Grand Involve, please remember to RSVP for a thank you event. So the Grand Involve is having a thank you event for all volunteers who do volunteer their hours and their time there. And that will be August 7th from 1 to 2 p.m. at the Burke Center Library.
So this is, again, okay, you lost me there.
This is a thank you event for volunteers currently who volunteer.
So people who
at
volunteered
Crestwood.
last year at
Yes.
Crestwood, this is a thank you event. So have these people been notified already?
They have, but
Okay,
I'm
this-
just sending a reminder.
This is a reminder.
This is a reminder.
In case you need to be reminded.
Yes.
Okay.
And that again, the date is August 7th from 1 to 2 p.m. Transportation will be provided.
Good.
Yes.
That's true. That's nice that they're giving a little thank you.
Yes.
And probably a little reminder that, hey, we'd like for you to come back this year.
Absolutely, yes.
That's good. Okay, so you mentioned some letters there that reminded me of another program that I saw that you had something about, I believe, yesterday.
Yes.
RSVP.
RSVP, it was an interest meeting, and basically it is an organization in the Fairfax area where older adults are able to volunteer off campus here in Green Spring and into the community. And the great thing about that is they're able to come here and find ways for residents to volunteer here as opposed to going out into the community because of transportation issues.
So who comes here?
So there's a gentleman, his name is Rob Payne, and he's
Okay.
a representative for the RSVP.
Uh-huh.
And he comes here, he meets with different residents who are interested,
Okay.
potentially volunteering outside of Green
So
Spring.
he came here yesterday
He
and he
did.
said, hey, we have some opportunities. If any of you could leave Green Spring to go other places to volunteer,
Yes.
we could really use your help.
Yes, and if you want information about that, you can reach out to me. I have a brochure about that. And, if you want to volunteer outside of Green Spring, just
Good.
talk to me.
Okay, we just have a couple of minutes left. I want to remind people that we're coming up on the end of the month and people are going, but wait, Kelly's gone, we have this new lady, what do we do with our volunteer forms? And they should just send them to, I think they could still send them to Kelly's email
Yes.
address, or they could send them to you, and it would be, excuse me, uvonne.andoh
Yes.
at erickson.com. You're in the same location in
Same
Garden
location,
Ridge,
same office.
and the same telephone number.
Yes.
So reach out to you in the same way, just the name is different.
Yes.
Yes, right. Anything else you'd like to add before we leave you?
I'm just excited to work with residents, excited for more volunteer opportunities for our residents. I have been getting questions about how can I volunteer?
Good.
What opportunities are there for me? So I'm very much excited
Good.
to work one-on-one and in groups with residents for, who are interested in volunteering.
Good. That's terrific. Well, we're really glad you're here.
Thank you so much.
That's great. And thank you for coming today.
Thank you for having me.
Okay.